Welcome to the Good Good podcast. I'm your host, Dee Talley, mama, licensed acupuncturist, herbalist, and embodiment coach. Here we dive deep into the realms of energy, consciousness, awareness, empowerment, and personal transformation to help you create a more vibrant and juicy life. Hey everybody, this is Dee Talley. Welcome to the Good Good podcast. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you so much for being here. And frankly, props to me for making it here. Oh God. Once we get into it, you will understand. So the ultimate riff, I realize that when I bullet point and when I try to get some type of content out there, something gets in the way of the creative process, and I really like flowing. So this is going to be kind of like a flow state, but I also have a couple of things written down. And I don't know, I feel like you're my friend and we can FaceTime together. So that's the vibe. And I need a friend. I need a mom friend right now. Okay, so this one is the ultimate riff Motherhood Edition. And you know what? Today I considered putting on my dark lipstick like I do when I want to feel like I have my shit together. But then I paused and I was like, you know what? This is real life. This is real life. And frankly, I don't have my shit together. And I'm not even about that life of trying to pretend like I do today. And it's funny because I have it right here. I'm like, you could just put it on, but no, we're not putting it on. This is real raw human emotion and real raw D for you. I'm literally still wearing my pajamas. It is 8:31 p.m. Woof. Okay. So I want to talk about motherhood, and today I'll just tell you a story. Today was a really tough day. I historically do not work on Wednesdays. I take Wednesdays off. If you can see me, I'm doing air quotes. Because the shit ain't off. Man, the shit ain't off, especially with kids. And I'll just say it. I need to work. I'm, to all of you stay-at-home moms, God dang, I'm in awe. I'm in awe of you. I'm flabbergasted by you. And I think that you are a superhero, because work for me is a way that I can both contribute in terms of being out in the world, contribute healing, contribute money to my household, contribute adult conversation, and have meaningful interaction with people. And on those days where it's just me, and it's just me and my kids, it's a struggle. It can be a struggle. And I don't want to pretend like it's not a struggle, but I also have things to say in terms of positivity and is not all doom and gloom, because I think that on social media and on the internet, motherhood is portrayed really, really rough. And I saw this post on social media, and it kind of got me thinking. It was a woman who is thinking about having a family, but she was just straight up saying motherhood is portrayed terribly. Mothers act like the births of their babies are a pivotal changing point in their life, by which they are never the same. They despise their life. They rely on alcohol. They have trouble coping. And frankly, she says, it's making me feel like I don't know if I'm cut out to be a mom. And I don't know if that's the route that I want to go. And she was asking then for like, what are the good parts? Like why would you choose to do this if not for your body, knocking on your shoulder and saying like, hey, you have this like need to procreate. Your body's like, okay, put a baby in me now, right? We've all kind of had that feeling. Well, most of us have had those feelings. And I thought, shit. So of course, like I click on the comments and I'm like, well, what the fuck are people saying? And there was a lot of really good, wholesome things in there. And so I was just thinking that you just can't have the highest highs without the lowest lows. And we often want to project on the loudspeaker the lowest lows. And I get it. It's about support. It's about being there for one another. It's about venting. It's about mostly support. But she's right. I think that it is portrayed in a way that makes people that don't have kids think to themselves, yikes, I don't know if I'm cut out for this. And like I said, I don't blame them. So today was a really, really rough day. And I think that being near Halloween and having so much excitement and lots of like activity to do, it creates issues. The main issues today was just the number of things on the list. My family hosts for Halloween in my neighborhood. So what happens is we invite my parents and in-laws and my sister over, and half kind of hand out candy and man the house, and then the other half go and trick or treat with the kids. And it's like a lot of extra things going on. So like I usually provide a meal, so I'm like trying to brainstorm, grocery shop, and cook for that meal, as well as have everything ready for everybody's costumes, because they each have different things going on, right? Like one of them needs to be dressed in their costume. The other one needs to take their costume to school. I have to think about like the layers of clothing and, right, like we know this. There's these tasks, but then under the task are like a fucking 1,000 tinier tasks that you, mom, are often thinking about. And it's kind of on your mental, in your brain capacity, right? It's like in your brain. And so when you add all of it up, it's quite taxing. Like there's a lot of mental gymnastics going on. And when, speaking for myself, when I have that much mental gymnastics going on, the challenge is being in my body, because most of these things reside in my head in terms of like logistics, check boxes and lists and organization, and does so-and-so have their treat for the party that they're supposed to have, and are we all gonna make it out okay? And with the level of tax that was on my plate today, I felt like I didn't have a lot of extra space or time to do extras in terms of playing or, time. The one activity that I was like, okay, well, we haven't done this yet is pumpkin carving. So like in the midst of all of this, and like I've got like fucking sheet pan of bacon in the oven, and like there's things in the oven and there's things on the stove, and I'm like, but we didn't carve pumpkins. I'm laughing because I look back on it and I'm like, the list was already so expansive, right? Like the list was already huge. But in my mind, if I didn't do the carving, I mean, my kids are 5 and 3. If I didn't do the carving, my kids' Halloweens would be fucking ruined. Listen, I know, I know. And like moms out there, you're like nodding your head. I totally understand where you're coming from. Like, logically, I know that their Halloween would not be ruined, but we want to give our kids these like experiences, right? And like, we remember those experiences. At least this is what I'm telling. This is that you're getting a glimpse into the story that I'm telling myself. But it's special. It's special. So there's like all this shit going on, right? And I'm like, of course, my kids are 5 and 3. They can't use a knife to carve the pumpkins. Like they're literally no help. No help. None. So what am I doing? I'm carving every pumpkin. I got the spoon in there. I'm scraping the sides. I got my hand in there. Each pumpkin, the goo is all over me. And it's like these kids are doing circles around me, chasing each other with their gooey hands. And I was stressed. And I thought to myself, why am I even like what am I doing? Right? What am I doing? The list is too long for this. And then they got to draw their faces on their pumpkins, and then who carved them? Oh, it was me. And I had to do it just so. And then I get all of their pumpkins finished, and they're like, okay, now we need to light them. And I'm like, well, who's like, I got to clean the mess, right? It's like so many different checked boxes. And at the end of the day, we ended up with 3 pretty freaking good pumpkins, I would say. And it was worth it. It was worth it to me, even though I felt like the world was going to come crashing down. But add a huge to-do list and then add kids who developmentally are right where they need to be. But how the questions, all the whys, why? The lack of listening, the lack of the ability to take direction, right? And the meltdowns. And then as a mom, fielding that high level of emotion from your child when your to-do list is as long as it is. Yeah. No wonder our energy is sucked out of our bodies, right? It doesn't even reside in me today. It didn't reside in me. It was above me, swirling around. And then, I was thinking about this creator and how she was like, well, what are the good parts of motherhood? And so, and this is like lifetime, right? Like you're seeing a process here. So I was thinking about all of these negative thoughts about myself as a mother, about the day. And I know that a lot of that actually isn't true. And so what I started to do is I started to shine a light of gratitude on it. And I started to say, well, what did go right today? Well, what did we laughed a lot today. We laughed a lot today. And my kids, and I'm sure every mom says this, but my kids' laughs are the best. I love hearing them laugh. I love seeing them play together and laugh, like chasing each other around and around in a circle. And my 5-year-old came home today singing from her music class all of the like fall songs today and the Halloween songs. And it was really cute. Like it warmed my heart. It really did. And in the midst of everything coming crashing down, when your child looks up at you and says, I love you, mommy. And today, actually, which I just talked about this in the last podcast, I made a bunch of shit today. Like I made 2 different types of soups. I made a salad. I made cornbread, muffins. And my kid was like, you're the best cooker ever, Mom. And I was like, oh, shit. You got me there. Like, right? It's like shit's crashing down and your child looks at you and says the thing, like whatever the thing is to you. And you're just like, oh, yes. Like that's it. Like that's what it is. And so, the light of gratitude expands when you keep focus on it. And so I noticed from the point of when I started to shine the light of gratitude on my day, my mood instantly got better and I had more patience and space and availability for challenges. Now, did I have to go in my child's bedroom 55 times because things were not so? Yeah. Her bonnet was messed up. She needed a ponytail. She had to go to the bathroom again. She needed a drink. I mean, separate times, right? Where you're like already like done, right? You're done for the day. You've looked forward to bedtime forever. And then your child, I hear my child on the monitor, Ma. That's what she says, Ma. My fan. What is wrong with your fan now? Is it not pointing correctly at you? Do you need me to turn it up a speed? Oh my God. It's too much. It's too much. So, from the time that I shine the gratitude light, though, I had more space for those interruptions and distractions and could actually work with myself in that way where it was like, okay, we're almost there. Like we're on the home stretch. And truly we were. And these kids are sleeping. Like who knows, right? Like they give them, I'll knock on wood right now. But it's true. You actually can't have those high highs without the low lows. Because it's just like that. It's that juxtaposition of the two of them. It's like that push and that pull. And, doing bedtimes 5 nights a week alone by myself is really taxing. And that's after working like full days. I mean, today I didn't work a full day. I would have liked to go to work today, honestly. But there is a high level of tax. And that's why I'm saying, like, stay-at-home moms, especially single stay-at-home moms. Oh my God. You are superhuman. You're superhuman. You're all moms. I think all moms are superhuman just by the load that we carry. And so no wonder our energy has shot up out of our heads. No wonder. So what do we do? Well, when the kids go to bed, what I did was I came back to my body and I kind of assessed the damage, right? Because like during the day, it's difficult to actually do that in real time, and also a practice to try to do that in real time, because I think that if we do accomplish that in real time, by the time bedtime comes, we have more of an idea of where we're at. But today I didn't have the life force. I didn't have the life force to do that today. And so I did that when the kids went to bed. And interestingly, and this is going to make so much sense, it's like there were all these basic needs that weren't met, right? It's like I haven't had a drink of water in 2 hours and I didn't eat my full dinner and I'm hungry and I need to go to the bathroom and right? Like I need to go to the bathroom alone, like in private with myself, and not having a child bang on the door or try to watch me poop, or like, just having that invasion into your space, into your biofield, into your body. And the boundaries get really, really melded together. And and being able to create some separation is really, really useful. I mean, today my 3-year-old is at the stage of pooping on the potty where like she wants me to hold her when she's on the toilet for like the first initial like turd. It's almost like she doesn't like she doesn't have that full trust in her body to know that like everything's going to be okay for the first like little bit of it. Like she needs like that moral support. And so, you know, when I'm literally holding her over the toilet and my body is like over the toilet bowl. Like I'm getting all the stench. I'm like, right? But you do that because you're like, my child needs me to hold her on the toilet. Like this is what we're doing now. But it's like I'll be glad when she can poop on the potty by herself. Again, developmentally, they're right where they need to be. They're right where they need to be. And it's like the things that we do as mothers for our children. And you know, I thought about this with the body too. And this is maybe like a yogic idea. There's concepts, especially in restorative yoga, where if you support the body, it then relaxes. Almost like the support collapses the tension. And we would see this all the time when I used to do restorative acu yogas. Is like if your props are set up in a way that feels very supportive to your body just goes, ah. But we as mothers support our children, right, in all of these different ways so that they can go, ah, and so that they can have that safety, that safe space in you, in your home, in the environments that you cultivate them for them. But who is it that holds your supports so that you can then go, oh, right? And it's like having these things in place, whether it's our partners, whether it's our family members, whether it's just structures that we have in place for ourselves. Now I'm talking about body support, but I'm kind of like going like mental, emotional supports as well. I'm not talking about just support my body so I can relax. It's like, what are the things that then support you so that way you can collapse in a way, collapse in a productive, therapeutic type of way, not in like a I'm dead on the floor. My day was so horrible. I can't get up. I've fallen and I can't get up. Oh God. I've had those days though. I think all of moms have those days. And right, so those things in place for us to have support for our bodies, for our systems to then be able to collapse themselves is absolutely paramount. And I question whether, you know, all the negativity on social media is about lack of support, therapeutic support for us to collapse. And whether the weight of the tasks, even the mental weight, right? Like we were talking about costumes and underlayers and all the stuff, right? So even the mental tasks, like, are they shared, right? It's like, are they shared? Do you have the support that you need? Because if I'm talking about positive aspects of motherhood, I think that I've been expanded more through motherhood than any other experience in my whole entire life, even abuse and rape. that was a very expansive time through time. But it's almost like motherhood was like a swift kick in the pants almost, where there wasn't a big span of time. It was kind of like put up or shut up type of thing, where you go through this pregnancy and then you birth these babies and you then have to sustain them, right? Like you have to sustain their life while they then learn all that they need to learn through their system in order to sustain their own basic needs. I think the swift kick in the pants was that process, and it happened a lot faster. And I think it happened faster because there was less kicking and screaming in that way, where it was like, okay, this is my new reality. That's what I mean by put up or shut up. This is my new reality. And attuning to a baby who cannot communicate their needs created a much stronger ability to attune to others in my system. So it was like, yes, I am attuning to my baby's needs, but this actually expands outside of this, where and it even expanded my work, where it's like I have an ability to attune that was strengthened through motherhood, and through doing this repeatedly for my baby. By doing this, I mean showing up and assessing the needs and then providing the needs. And I think that motherhood expands you in all different ways. And I think it might be different for different people, and super fucking triggering. I think motherhood can be very triggering for I'll say this. Motherhood is triggering. It can be a very expansive type of triggering, because it pokes all your buttons, brings up all your old shit, and just is like a mirror that's reflected to you of like, okay, here you are. And it's an opportunity. And I continue to believe that it's an opportunity for positive growth, change, and acceptance. Radical fucking acceptance. And I can firmly tell you that I don't think that you can level up yourself. I'm pausing because I want to be sensitive, because there are some people that don't, motherhood isn't for them. So I'm not saying that you can't level up. I just think there's no stronger, faster catalyst to level up than becoming a mother. And I think that even from day one of conception of that child, because your baby's energy starts long before they're birthed and crying in your arms, right? And so there's something really, really extra special about that, about being a giver of life, and about how much it expands our edges, and it pulls. It's like a push and a pull and a hug and a scream and a cry. It's like it's all of those things wrapped into one. So for somebody who is thinking about having a child, but is like, I don't know, this all seems like it's just like a bad idea, and moms act like their life ended, and I'll say, your life doesn't end. It begins. It's a whole new chapter that it's almost like, because you haven't experienced it, you can't actually compare it to any of your previous non-motherhood experiences, because by comparing those two things, it's like looking at apples to oranges, truly. You're not the same person that you once were. And if you pretend like you're going back, that is a very large pitfall. That was a pitfall of mine. That was a pitfall of mine because I was expecting to go back and not forward in that way. Like I thought that finding myself, finding my past self would give me a lot of comfort, and it actually really just created suffering because I was wishing for something to be different than what it was right in this present moment. It's like there's no takesies backsies for this little baby. There's no takesies backsies. Like you are you, but you are leveled up. You are being called in. You are expanding in all ways. Again, there are ways to do that other than motherhood. But no wonder it's spoken about like such a monumental kind of pivotal moment because it's huge. It's huge. And I think that downplaying and two things. I think downplaying it is a disservice, but I also think that you cannot understand actually as a non-mother until you have children in that way, because when I was pregnant, I was like super, super pregnant with my first kid. And I said to one of my best friends, and she's listening to this podcast right now, I said to her, please give it to me straight. Everybody is telling me enjoy every minute. And, you know, you're going to love being a mother. You're going to be such a good mom. And you are, you know, this is going to be such an amazing time for you. And I said, I can't take it. I need you to tell me. I need you to be real with me. I need that from you. Like, please, can you tell me something real? And she said to me, after my baby was born, I had a really hard time connecting with her. And I felt so much shame. I couldn't even look at her. And it took me a long time to be able to look at her and to hold her and to not feel crushing sense of fear and anxiety. And I was like, thank God. Thank you. Thank you for telling me that, because I need something real. But even then, I couldn't understand it. Like I couldn't get it to the place that I could after my child was born. Also, amnesia, right? Because after you have a child, you forget a lot of shit. You forget a lot about birth. You forget a lot about labor. And this is like, whether you've been super traumatized or not, there is a level of amnesia that occurs. Why? So you biologically do it again. Hello? Like your body is here to procreate, to reproduce, and the system is designed in a way to be conducive to that. And that is fuckery. That is straight up fuckery. But anyway, there is amnesia that occurs where you don't actually remember a lot of stuff. And I think that it is a disservice to new moms that they aren't fed like real, the raw real, whether it's like, we don't want to scare them. We don't want them to be afraid or fearful. We don't want them to overthink it. Or, you know, whatever the case may be. And so I always am so grateful for the raw real, because for me, I need to see both sides. Like I need to have an understanding that feels more cohesive than just one-sided. And you know, I don't know if there's a better system. Like I do think we should have more open and honest conversations about becoming mothers, birthing babies, being in that postpartum phase, which is exquisite, horrendous, amazing, horrible. But it's all of those rolled into one, but truly exquisite. Because again, the highs cannot be as high if the lows aren't as low. And the lows can be fucking low. Scary low. And it goes back to that piece on suffering. Suffering occurs when we wish for something to be different than what it is. And so adding levels of like pressure or shame or adding other emotions on top of the emotions is a really tough thing, because our bodies and brains in a postpartum way are in protection mode, right? We are kind of in fight or flight for a lot of that time, because it's like hearing that baby cry is visceral to our systems, and that's on purpose. It's visceral on purpose. Why? So we take care of the babies. So we pick them up and we feed them and we burp them and we do all the things. It's on purpose, but it's visceral. And so maybe that's part of the reason why, it's hard to talk about, because talking about visceral, sense felt things occur in a different place than your frontal cortex. Right? Like our frontal cortex are when we speak shit out. It's hard to put to words our sense felt visceral emotions, because it occurs in a different area of our brains. Straight up. So I think it's multi-layered. I think it's many different things. And I think, again, support to collapse. Ooh. And this could lead me on a road that I'm not going to walk down. But what are the supports in place for postpartum mothers? Let's think about maternity leave. Let's think about breastfeeding support. Let's think about partner and spouse education to support. It's like, in a lot of ways, the system fails us and is horrific, actually. When you think about, I have such a hair up my ass for women who feel disempowered, for mothers who feel disempowered or not enough. It's like, bitch, you birthed that baby. You grew that baby. You are a giver of life. Like, your job, what your body does trumps all. You are a vessel for life. There is nothing more powerful than being a vessel for life. There's nothing. You can't tell me there's anything more powerful. And this leads me on more roads that I'm not walking down, which is like patriarchy and the white man. Like I'm going to get fired up. I can feel it. Maybe, should I get fired up? Is this like, should this be like Jerry Springer? Like, okay. Yo. Ma. If you've had a really shitty day, shine a light of gratitude on your life right now. Remember how much of a badass bitch you are for growing, sustaining, birthing, doing all the things, carrying the mental loads. And I'm not saying it like it's a badge of honor. But with support, we can collapse, right? So props to you for carrying the torch, for doing the things. And again, I think that you're amazing. And I think that if you can if you can sink down into, if you can put your focus on your pelvic floor, if you can feel your lower structures, your pelvic bowl, if you can feel your vulva, the level of power that you hold, the expansive, exquisite, the raw fucking power, infinity power. Like, you are a vessel of raw power. So the next time that you feel like you're disempowered, or that you're nothing, or that you're not enough, sink down to this space, because your body knows the power that you are. But does your mind know? You know, it's nice to have those reminders every once in a while. And that doesn't go away. That's something that's for you, babe. You just feel that. You just feel that whenever you need it. You feel that. You call that up. You hold that within you. They can't tell you nothing. Ugh, I'm so glad I came on today. I was debating. I'm like, I really want to work out, but I can just feel it. It's like very strange. This is like strange to say out loud, but I feel like my system knows when it's time to turn on this microphone. And every time I listen to that, it feels like, yeah. It's not out of need. It's not out of, deadline. It's like, this is important. You're important. And I'm just so grateful that you're here and that you continue to listen. And thank you for all the reviews. And thank you for, I can't even, I really, truly, it's hard for me to really put into words how much it means to me. I've been sending that like emoji that's crying, the tears streaming emoji. Like, that's what I send. And I thank you for all of your messages. And when you reach out to me, I truly have really big dreams for this podcast and for just in general. And maybe I can talk about that another time, but thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next episode.